It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso. You're live in S3. And a little earlier, in case you missed it, we had a panel of individuals chatting to us about breakups, the dynamics thereof, how tough it can be in the aftermath as well. It's so important on a Mental Health Monday for us to really unpack this. And we're going to continue this conversation now with our next special guest.
Yep, our next special guest needs no introduction. Here to discuss from a first-hand experience, well-known SABC2 actress and founder of the Power of Wellness, Monyane. She'll be talking to us, telling us and taking us through the ways in which we can better cope with a breakup. Mona, it's so good to see you. Good morning, gorgeous.
Good morning.
Ah, man, a ray of sunshine in this cold, rainy winter here in Cape Town. But Mona, it wasn't always sunshine in your world, because you found yourself dealing with a separation in the public eye with so many eyes and so many voices. How on earth did you even cope?
Oh my goodness. It's such a huge question, but I think when we tie it down to the base point, you have to be accountable for yourself. It's about auditing. I call it the system of auditing. After every relationship, you have to sit down, take out the balance sheet, take out the receipts, and be like, what's going on here? What was happening? What is going on? But no, it really, the Power of Wellness movement came from the process of me just auditing everything, not just the actual breakup. Because I think that's what breakups do. They unpack everything that's lying underneath the surface, everything that you've been avoiding, everything that you ran away into the relationship to go and, hide from. So I think the biggest thing for me was just taking accountability of what my role was that led to the breakup in the first place.
I love that. So with wellness comes introspection, as you're mentioning.
Yeah.
And naturally, everybody brings their own traumas into whatever they're going into as well. And did you find that this was one of the unpacking moments where you had to actually assess to yourself, there's a reason as to why I'm interacting with this individual in a certain way, why I am not auditing, but just receiving it as it is, before you could actually start editing the way you deal with this person. So tell me about how coming into a relationship with certain traumas of your past, it kind of helped you, this breakup, helped you unpack that.
I think we don't realize that we carry certain traumas into relationships until they end or until something, really big happens. Because the thing about my previous relationship is we had lost a child, and then I went through some personal trials as well when my family home burned down and all of these things. So it just led me to realize that indeed, there was a lot happening at the time and previously leading up to the relationship that I had to start being accountable for, that I had to start processing, that I had to allow myself to really confront in order for me to see why it led to the end of the relationship and how I could really productively move forward from there.
Productively move forward. I think that's standout for me, because at the end of a relationship, some people do struggle to move forward, that they sort of cling on to the experience that has now come to an end, and they find themselves almost sort of blaming themselves for things that could have gone right, things that happened or did not happen. How do you piece it all together, or piece yourself together at least, or put the pieces together at the end of it?
I think it's important to understand that control is a state of mind, like, and an illusion at that. The idea that we can control the outcome of everything, the idea that we can control other people. Once you start to release that sort of misconception, you are really enabling yourself this ability to live your life with gratitude for the moment. So I think where I'm at right now is I'm allowing myself to be extremely grateful for each moment and not be so tied up in being obsessed with what the next thing is going to be, and really avoid trying to control anybody else's actions, because you can't. You can't control anybody else's actions. So I think what empowers me right now is just that. It's the heightened state of being and allowing that to be enough.
And knowing that you're only in control of you, yourself.
Just this. Yeah.
There's a lot more power to unpack over here with Mona, so she was going nowhere. But if you have any questions, please feel free. 063 408 8863. We'll continue this conversation around breakups in the next couple of moments. For now, let's take a quick kitchen break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Back to your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on this beautiful Mental Health Monday as we zone into coping with a broken heart, which we know can be really, really painful, leaving people with grief, and people feeling that they've lost so much in one way or another. And we're back with actress and businesswoman Monyane, who's chatting to us about her very own experience with heartbreak and talking a little bit about her journey to healing and how we can all take some inspiration from that. Mona, thanks for staying with us.
Thank you.
So before we get into our further conversation, I think it's important for us to hear from you on 063 408 8863. So we have Shauna from Johannesburg who'd like to weigh in.
I would like to say that after a breakup, you should focus on yourself more, because when that person is out of your life, they broke you, and I feel like you should build up yourself again. And I'm Shana, by the way. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye! Basically, that's what Shauna's saying to, somebody who's broken her heart. Just bye!
Yes, that's
Out. I love that. Thanks, Shauna.
And then we got Colleen from Cape Town who'd also like to have a word.
Good morning, Expresso, Colleen here. The thing that got me through a heartbreak and a breakup was I went out with this guy for 8 years, and then we broke up after getting married for 5 months. We broke up, so yeah, the thing that made me strong at that time was actually my kids, my baby. I had a baby, Mateo, so looking at him reminded me that I've got love from 2 boys, so why sit and cry and mope over a man that's not going to be there forever, while my kids is going to be there forever.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
Colleen, that stunts. I love that.
yes, ma'am.
I think it's also, there's something there is that when you go through a breakup, very often we're quick to look at all the terrible things that it's left us feeling, but we forget to actually go and count all the amazing moments and memories that have helped us grow with this person, and that we should actually honor that moment and say, well, it's come to an end. Heartbreak or no heartbreak, there's so much that we can take out of it, right?
Yes, I think that we need to stop looking for love only in romantic relationships. Love exists in family, friends, and your colleagues. Love exists within yourself. And it's when you give the self-love the kind of definition that you give the romantic love that you really are going to be okay. It's important for us to be so defined in our self-love that when we meet other people, it really is an exchange of energy. It's not somebody trying to fill you up or you filling them up. But it's also so important to honor love where we find it. I love when she's speaking about her babies, because I'm a mother as well. But you do have to look for that in other spaces. People are defining their romantic relationships as their own end all and be all. And that's unhealthy. That's unhealthy.
And the sad thing is that when a relationship breaks apart, I find that love is tainted on all platforms. And this is why you have to go back and do the work.
Yeah.
And I think the work comes through, just organizations such as yours, Power of Wellness, because you make people more perceptive to love and empty their cup so that they can receive. So I think people want to walk with you. I'd like to walk
I would
with
hope
Kabisa would like to
so.
walk with you.
We all want to walk with
No,
you.
we want to walk with you. So tell me about what you are doing, and obviously we know what the birthplace of this thing is,
Yeah.
but the Power of Wellness, what is it actually about, and how can we get involved?
So I have various activations that I used to do before COVID.
Yes.
It's been sort of redefining it now, but it's a platform that aims to really give us a different perspective and to prioritize conversations that help us prioritize our wellness, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and otherwise. So what I really do mostly is just whoever is out there who's a wellness ambassador, somebody who's out there really spreading light in the world, this is the platform where I hope to engage with them and really showcase them to the rest of us. Because what I realize in my darkest moments is that commercially there's so much going on that doesn't speak to our healing. And it's important for us to just insert those pauses, those moments in the commercial space that says, okay, we're going through some things. This is how you can go through it. This is how you can process it. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for me, the most important thing is having those conversations. Because once you change this, everything else is impacted.
Mona Meskat, tell me this. When it comes to support structure, because you need a support structure when you have come out of a relationship, because most often you have lost the person who you sort of counted on for support. What alternative ways and platforms and channels and people should we be looking to for this, support when we need it?
I'm gonna use a very unpopular answer. I'm gonna say turn to God. And I'm gonna say define who God is for you. And by doing that, you have to listen to yourself spiritually. I would love to say, go to your parents or go to your friends or go to therapy or do that.
Yeah.
It is important, but I feel like redefining your spiritual identity is one of the biggest, most important things that you can do for yourself. For me, that is where I go to beyond anything else. I have to go back to who I am as a spiritual being in this human experience, realign myself, ground myself, and then ask the questions I need to in order to navigate forward. So I will say that.
Oh, I love that.
You know-
Mona Monyane.
Yo,
Thank you so
Go to
much
God.
for that.
I want you to come back, please, because there's so much more to discuss. But we will definitely bring you back. You're such an incredible individual, and I want to applaud you for facing your trauma, owning it, and developing something with it that helps others. I think that's power.
Incredible.
So much.
Thanks so much for joining us. Okay, now listen, last week on our Mental Monday, Mental Health Monday, we spoke about reevaluating relationships, especially during lockdown and what that looks like. This morning, we sort of went deep into looking at heartbreak and what to do to cope with that at the end of it. And we've got a quote to inspire everyone today as you step into your Mental Health Monday. This one is from Mandy Hale.
Yes, indeed. So the quote reads as follows: "You can love them, forgive them, want good things for them, but still move on without them."
There we go. Every relationship is like a fingerprint. Each and every single one of them presents itself in different ways, but we all do have ourselves, and it's a journey of self-discovery and rediscovery constantly. And at the end of the day, it's all about love of self and love of others as we share it with them. Thanks, Mona.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Richard.
Yes.